Good morning and welcome to another year of exciting sports. On this episode of Sports Update, we have Evangel Sports to talk about, plus an interview with an Evangel football player and some NFL action to talk about. I'm Brock Wilson.
And I'm Sophie Shore. And this is Sports Update.
Well, the new school year is finally kicking off, and that means the introduction of fall sports.
And isn't that exciting, Brock?
It is very exciting. Football, cross-country action, soccer, volleyball, one of the best times of the year.
The whole shebang.
Yes. Let's start off with the cross-country team. The 2016 cross-country season officially kicked off last Friday evening as both the men's and women's teams competed in the Southwest Baptist Invitational. Yoselin Robles led the way for the women's team in the 5K run, finishing with a solid time of 20 minutes and 46.47 seconds. She was followed closely behind by Leslie Perona, who finished 33rd, and Caitlin Iwanoski, who finished 44th. Trevor Edick was the top finisher for the men in the 5-mile run as he came in at 41st, clocking a time of 26 minutes and 45.42 seconds, with Jacob Cruz finishing 49th and Kevin Knowlton finishing 61st, respectively. The cross-country teams continue action next weekend when they travel to St. Louis to compete in the Forest Park Cross-Country Invitational.
Under Coach Mary Whitehead, Evangel Volleyball has a knack for being pretty exceptional. Last season, these ladies went 39-7 and made an appearance at the national tournament. They've set some pretty high expectations, and with the leadership of 5 very talented seniors in Jackie Fugit, Jorah Garrett, Morgan Kingsinger, Brianna Justice, and Allie Dutton-Moss, we are certain that another appearance is in the works. This season has taken a little bit of adjusting, being that along with these 5 seniors, the team is made up of 6 freshmen and only 1 sophomore. They are currently 5-4 in the season, but looking to go on a streak starting tonight against longtime rival C of O. Yes, let me repeat, the Evangel volleyball team plays College of the Ozarks tonight at 7 p.m. at the Ashcroft Center. We hope to see you at tonight's game, ready to cheer our volleyball girls to victory.
It has been an historic start to both the men's and women's soccer teams' seasons. While the men got their first win since 1974 when the program was dropped, the women got their first win in program history with a 4-1 win against Stevens College on August 26th. Most recently, the men and women took on Williams Baptist in a doubleheader last Saturday at Cooper Soccer Complex, and both teams went home with a 2-0 victory. Kyler Moore and Caleb Rodriguez scored for the men's team, while Leslie Fenton and Brooke Todd scored for the women, who remain undefeated on the season. The men improved to 2-1 and both programs will be traveling to Louisiana on Friday to take on LSU Alexandra and Louisiana College in a weekend series. And now that is very exciting to see the women get their first win in women's program history.
Can you believe that?
It's amazing.
And they're undefeated.
And they're
on
undefeated
a roll.
this season.
Yeah.
We talked to the head coach last spring on Sports Update, and he said that there was a lot of recruiting that he was working on getting in. He mentioned close to 15 girls this fall, which I'm sure that numbers went down since then. But
pretty successful recruiting, I'd say.
Successful recruiting, especially opening up the season as successful as they have.
Congratulations, women's soccer.
And it's been 40 years since the men's team played. Let's talk about the football team, who kicked off their 40th season a couple Saturdays ago. Dropped their first game to Benedictine College 1 week after that embarrassing 35-3 loss. The Crusaders looked to bounce back and snatch a win against Peru State last Saturday. It was a lack of offense that was the death of Evangel in Week 1, and it proved to also be detrimental in the matchup against Peru State. The Bobcats opened up the game with 21 unanswered points before Evangel finally got on the board with a touchdown late in the second quarter. The Evangel's only score in the second half came on a 30-yard field goal from Derek Roberts, while the Bobcats ripped off another 21 points to down Evangel 42-10. The Crusaders open up their season 0-2, but return to Tiger Stadium on Saturday with another chance to pick up that all-important first win of the season when they take on the Grandview Vikings at 1:30. Well, it's a slow start to the football season, but we've seen the football team be able to overcome adversity in the past.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's been very exciting for the new head coach, Chuck Heppela.
Yeah, I think Coach Heppela will really get it in gear, though. From what I've heard from the football boys, he is very exceptional at pushing them in practice.
Right.
So we have all the faith that they will be able to get there.
And it's always very tough taking over a program fresh.
Absolutely.
Even though he was already in the program as the quarterback coach, being able to take over the helm is always a tough transition, but I'm sure the Crusaders will kick it into gear.
Lots of variables there going on.
Yes,
So.
get through conference play and hopefully make a run at the playoffs. Well, coming up next on Sports Update, our very own football player, Justin Day, will be with us for an interview, so stay tuned.
Did you know there's a place online that is home to Evangel University student media? Well, on CrusaderMedia.com, you can listen to KECC Radio Live, watch the most recent News Watch Today and Sports Update shows, as well as watch the past student-directed EU films, read the Lance student newspaper online, learn more about the Excalibur yearbook, read profiles on featured students, faculty, and staff, and even stay up to date with campus life by watching the hilarious EU Cribs dorm life videos and much more. Head over to CrusaderMedia.com today and stay up to date with life at Evangel University.
Welcome back. We are very excited to have our own Evangel Crusader football player, Justin Day, with us today. Justin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's been a bit of a slow start to the season, 0-2. Tough getting the offense to get going, but the defense has been pretty stout at the beginning of the season, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I'll say that. Yep.
Hey, now you are a defensive lineman. You were a transfer student your freshman year,
Yes.
right? So what's it been like stepping into a program fresh, and you redshirted your first year, correct? And then becoming a force on a defense that has been one of the best in the conference.
It's just been a blessing. It shows that just how God can work through individuals that may seem like they lost their way. And I'll say that especially with the help of Coach DeSoto, our defensive coordinator, and Coach Heppela, of course, our head coach, just guiding us as players in the right direction. I think that that has a lot to do with how the defense is doing and how the team is doing in general, offense too.
Yeah. Now, how's the transition been? Getting Coach Heppela in there, new dynamic on the team. How's he been doing so far?
I would say that he's been very, very spiritual, and it's something about him that just draws you in, because when he says something, he means it, and when he speaks to you, it's like he's not just speaking to you, but he's speaking to your spirit, man. He's speaking to you with spirit, like a spiritual father would speak to you. So it's one of the things where it's like I love having him. He's a father figure on the team. The way he loves his wife and loves his kids is an example of how we should love our future wives and our future kids. So it's just an amazing person to have on the team and to look up to and to guide us.
Yeah, it's great that our program has the opportunity to be able to bring in a guy like that, to be able to lead players, especially in such a trying time that the team was found last season. Got to move forward from the 0-2 start, get the offense going. What do you think it's going to take for the team to kind of get the wheels turning and get the offense going a little more than it has been?
Okay. I think most definitely that we handled that when we came back Monday and we had our meetings and stuff like that. It's just going to take just that little bit more winning effort at practice and just doing the little things, you getting into the detail of things and being very detailed and intentional with the things that we do at practice. Right. And I think that's where it all underlies, because we looked at the components on the team, that the effort, the winning attitude, and all these things, and we have that. It's just the details that we have to correct, those detailed things. And I think once we get those down, then that's when the atmosphere will change.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the football team is starting off its 40th season as a program here at Evangel. How much of an inspiration is that to have so much heritage behind you guys to be able to, like I said, have the inspiration to have a great season despite the 0-2 start?
Yeah. I say that it's a great inspiration for the alumni when they come and they encourage us. They like to encourage us, and we really take heed to that. So it's really encouraging, and this inspires us because we talked about it that that Evangel was a really winning program, right? And we was talking about that on Monday, and we were just like, that's what our dynasty is. We're winners, and we know that. So So our mindset with that is, let's put the train back on the course. Right. Let's keep it moving now. Let's keep going. Let's get that winning streak back going. Right. So I think with the long-founded foundation of Evangel, I think that's something that we can hang our hat on. That okay, we can do this. It's not impossible.
Right. Well, thank you, Justin, for being on the show. Next up, after the break, we'll be going over Evangel's upcoming games. So stay with us.
You can't keep true faith inside a church. You can't confine it to a few hours, days, or weeks. You can't share it with some people and hide it from others. You can't leave it on the side of the road to come back for it when you think you will need it later. True faith will shine through in everything you do, wherever you are, and everything you do will improve because of it, because everything we do grows out of it. Evangel University.
Well, we have another new addition to the Sports Update team here on the show. Victoria Guerra is our new lady doing our upcoming games. So, Victoria, let's kick it over to you for your first ever segment. Just tell us about our upcoming games.
So we have a lot of traveling going on this weekend for our Evangel teams. The men's golf have a Labor Day Invitational in Bellevue, Illinois today and tomorrow. Our Women Crusaders volleyball team will have their home opener tonight versus rival College of the Ozarks at 7 p.m. in the Ashcroft Center, so make sure to go and support the team. They'll also be holding an Evangel Classic this Friday and Saturday at the courts. They will be playing University of Mary and Bellevue University on Friday, and play Tabor College and John Brown University on Saturday. They will also have a conference match against Avila on next Tuesday, September 13th. Evangel Cross Country have the Forest Park Festival this Friday, and Crusader football will play Grandview University at Tiger Stadium this Saturday at 1:30. Men's and women's soccer play Friday against Louisiana State University Alexandria and Louisiana College on Saturday. Women's games kick off at 2, while the men's kick off at 4. We hope nothing but the best for each team. That's all I have for you guys. And back to you, Brock.
Victoria, I've always made it kind of a tradition to ask on the first couple segments, what are you most excited for in this opening fall season of fall sports?
I am definitely most excited for football. I've come from a lot of football background, and I'm just excited to see what they can do. So.
Well, football is definitely one of my favorite sports. Definitely one of the biggest components of fall time.
Yep, football, high school, NFL, all kinds of football going on here, and it's America's sport for sure. So
yes.
With the NFL, let's kick on over to that.
Yep, coming up next, we'll make sure that we give you all of the action that went on in week 4 of preseason football, so stay with us.
Catch all the HD broadcasts of Evangel Sports on EUTV through livestream.com. EUTV features weekly programs like Sports Update and Newswatch Today. You can also see award-winning student films from Evangel filmmakers. Evangel University Television broadcasts to Evangel dorms on channels 12 and 35-1. You can also find EUTV on Mediacom channel 84 in Springfield. And now, EUTV is on livestream.com, broadcasting on the web 24 hours a day. So check it out. Go to livestream.com, enter EUTV in the search box, and click on the EU icon. EUTV, the home of edutainment.
Welcome back to Sports Update. Brock and I are going to tell you a little bit about the NFL and what's going on with preseason, aren't we, Brock?
Yeah, final week of the preseason. You know, it's basically the fourth stringers on one team playing the fourth stringers on the other team. But the last-minute tune-ups for all the starters in the first couple drives of the game, so can't hang your hat too much on the results of these games.
Exactly.
But got to keep an eye on the performance
They're
of
fun to
some of the
talk
starters.
about.
They are. So let's talk about a couple teams that are looking for a new start. In the final week of preseason action, Brock Osweiler got one final tune-up with his new team as the Texans took on a banged-up Cowboys team that is being forced to start rookie quarterback Dak Prescott after Tony Romo went down with an injury in Week 2 of the preseason. Back up to Prescott, Jamil Showers played the entire game as planned in order to give Prescott rest. The second-year player had a first-quarter touchdown pass but fumbled at the Dallas 19 to set up Houston's first touchdown, and he also threw an interception that was returned 9 yards for a touchdown by Antonio Allen. Inversely, Houston's backup quarterback Tom Savage had a great outing in relief for Osweiler as he converted on a pair of fourth downs for touchdowns to running back Akeem Hunt, helping seal a 28-17 victory. The Texans went 4-0 in the preseason for the first time in franchise history, while the first half of the regular season still holds a lot of mysteries for the Cowboys and their inexperienced backfield. The Texans host the Chicago Bears in Week 1 at NRG Stadium on Sunday at noon, while the Cowboys host the Giants for their second straight season opener at 3:25.
The Tennessee Titans ended their preseason with a bang, outpowering the Dolphins 21-10. This brings their preseason record to 3-1. Prior to Game 4, the Titans defense had been struggling with stopping first drive touchdowns, but this wasn't the case last Thursday. With the Daquan Jones forced fumble and recovery by Rashad Johnson, the Titans offense was able to get Derrick Henry into the end zone in just 3 plays. Antonio Andrews would also add a few touchdowns to the mix. Thursday's game lacked action from Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray, and Delaney Walker, but Titans fans are pleased with the idea of no injuries going into the regular season. The Titans' first regular season game is September 11th against the Minnesota Vikings at Nissan Stadium.
Despite the majority of the starters for both the Packers and the Chiefs not playing in their final preseason game, there was still a lot of action to be seen. Rookie quarterback Joe Callahan, back up to Aaron Rodgers, capped off an impressive preseason with 143 yards passing and a touchdown, the only score for Green Bay. The story of the day for the Chiefs was the 2 backup running backs to Jamal Charles, Nile Davis, and Darren Reeves, who has since been cut from the team. The 2 combined for 121 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns as the Chiefs cruised to a 17-7 victory to cap off their preseason. Kansas City and Green Bay both open up their seasons on Sunday at noon, with the Chiefs hosting Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, and the Packers, who travel to Jacksonville, take on Blake Bortles and the Jaguars. Well, it is sure to be an exciting NFL season this year. I want to go back to the Houston Texans and the Cowboys. More specifically, the Cowboys. A lot of mystery going on with the true rookie backfield in Dak Prescott at quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott at running back. Got to be so frustrating, for Cowboys fans, having Tony Romo go down with an injury for the second straight season.
Absolutely, and especially in the preseason.
Right.
On the opposite end of that, you have the Texans who had their most successful preseason in franchise history, so that has to be a little bit discouraging looking at that matchup right there. It does.
And the Houston Texans have a lot to look forward to with the new quarterback, Brock Osweiler. As he left the Broncos with a lot of mysteries at their quarterback position, the Texans are looking to build on their postseason run from last year and have an even deeper postseason run this year. It's sure to be an exciting NFL season, but this is all we have for you today on the show. Thanks for watching our first episode this year. As always, make sure you find a way to support your fellow Crusaders. I'm Brock Wilson.
And I'm Sophie Shore.
We'll see you next week.